Hey everybody, and welcome back, or welcome if you are new. Hello! It is December. It is the month of festivities and holidays and joy and happiness for some people, okay? Because ding dong, hello, that isn't the case for everyone, okay? The holidays is actual shit for some of us, okay? Now, I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but I know that I am speaking the truth, and I know that this is gonna resonate with some people. So with that being said, I thought that I would tell you about this TBR of mine. Now, I don't normally do TBRs, but bitch, we're doing one today, okay? And that is called the Depraved December TBR. Should I have announced this earlier and just hosted a readathon? Maybe. Am I going to pull a readathon out of my butt? You know what? Maybe that will be fun. Maybe this is a readathon, okay? Throughout the entire month of December, I plan on reading Depraved books. Now, that could be anything, any interpretation. That could be smut, that could be extreme horror, that could be depressing shit. This TBR has all the shit, okay? It's got all the good stuff. And to join the readathon, you just need to read some fucked up shit, maybe vlog it, tag me, cool. Wow, is this actually gonna be a thing, or am I gonna be the only one doing it? Either way, whatever, I'm gonna be talking about what I'm gonna be reading this month, and maybe vlogging throughout the month. If anyone wants to join me,
I'm gonna have cock time right now.
No pressure though. Either way, yeah, let's talk about the books I'm gonna be reading this month. I've divided this list into two sections. First, we've got the horror. So in this, there's like, you know, standard horror, one psychological horror, extreme horror, a lot of John Athan. That's gonna be good for us. And then I have the smut.
The porn.
So we're gonna start with the horror section, and the first one is gonna be We Spread by Ian Reid. Ian Reid is an author who wrote the best book I read in the year of 2020, and that was like one of the shittiest fucking years of my life. So the fact that he wrote a book that was amazing and super fucking depressing, but also like I felt seen, and that was I'm Thinking of Ending Things. Yeah, that book was actual art. Now apparently Ian Reid wrote another book this year, and that book is called We Spread. So if my information is right, I think this book follows this old woman named Penny, and she is very old. She is in the winter of her life, and we follow what it feels like to be in her head as she gradually deteriorates and gets closer to death. Okay, that sounds so fucked up, and in the month of December, when it's just not the happiest time for me, I really do want to think about death. I don't know, we're gonna see how this book goes. I'm hoping it's another masterpiece, but I probably shouldn't have my expectations on super high, just in case it lets me down. But we shall see, okay? So next I want to read the book Mr. Snuff by John Athan. The word snuff is in the fucking title. Need I elaborate? For people who've been here for quite some time, you will know that between Pretty Girls and Survivor and all that good stuff, when a book has this element in it, I am sold. So this book is not only about snuff films, but it also has this really exciting looking revenge subplot. So we follow this dad who learns at the beginning of the book that his daughter was killed in a snuff film, okay? And he goes to the police station and watches the film. It's super fucked up, and he decides to take it upon himself to avenge his daughter, and I am just so ready for this book, okay? And I've been saying I wanted to read more of this author's work. Also, if that person in the car down there could stop fucking looking at me, bitch. Sorry. Moving on. I am sane, I am stable. I'm gonna be reading Readathon by John Athan, another John Athan, because all his books have such amazing sounding plots, and given my track record with him, they've all just been so fucking good. I literally just can't even with how this guy writes so many books, and they're all just amazing, and they're all just so extreme horror, and they all find a way to fucking fuck me up. So that's just like, hell yeah. So Readathon is about this guy who is like, he's got some issues, okay? He kills women, and one day he develops this infatuation with this Japanese waitress, and he stalks her, he tries to kidnap her, he tries to get her to be his girlfriend. Now obviously she's like, you're a fucking creep, get the hell out of my face, but he will stop at nothing to get in her panties, okay? It's a lot. We will see how this goes, but yeah. It sounds really creepy. It's giving me You by Caroline Kepnes, but also Lovesick. I don't know if this book is gonna be as intense as Lovesick because that book was a lot of stuff. But we'll see, okay? Another John Athan book I want to read is The Abuse of Ashley Collins. Now, I really don't know what this book is about. This is perhaps the one that I know the least of in this list. Maybe the title in itself is self-explanatory and everything I need to know is in the title. We follow a girl named Ashley, she gets abused. Who abuses her? I don't know. Is it gonna be like a, you know, girl next door, Jack Ketchum kind of situation? I don't know, but we will see. I didn't read the Goodreads summary, but I did read some of the reviews and people are saying this book was so disturbing, which I love, okay? Alright, so next I want to read another John Athan book, and that is Into the Wolf's Den, because wow, this is Judith Sonnet, the author of For the Sake of 2, very prolific extreme horror author, said that this was her favorite John Athan book, and if this was her favorite John Athan book, this was also probably one of his nastiest books, so we will see what we're getting into. I am scared. I don't know what is in store for me, but I also can't fucking wait to find out. So I think we follow these 3 girls who are going home one night and they get abducted by these men who wear these animal face masks, and they're like, you bitches, you're gonna be our prisoner. And that in itself is so terrifying to me. Like, real human cruelty as the main focal point of the horror in a book is always what scares me the most. So the fact that that is gonna be like the huge thing in this book is terrifying. That coupled with the fact that this whole concept of random acts of cruelty is what scares me the most, because if you watch a lot of true crime like what I do, you'll see that there are some killers that literally don't have any motive outside of just killing and just being evil. The amount of people who have been killed just because they were, you know, crossing the wrong person's path and didn't actually do anything to that person is just insane. And the fact that this book takes that premise and is known to be one of John Athan's most intense has me scared out of my mind, okay? So, sorry, I scratched my nose. It's red like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. 1 second. So we follow these 3 girls and they are kidnapped, and one of their dads is looking for them and going on this hunt to find these kids. It's very similar in terms of plot to The Groomers. I'm hoping that the setup is the only thing that these 2 stories have in common, and that this isn't John Athan recycling a previous story. I certainly do hope this story is its own thing, otherwise it's gonna get shat on. And I don't want to do that, but I will. Do I do everything I can to get extreme indie horror promoted on this channel? Yes. Will I kiss ass though? No. If I don't like your book, I'm sorry. But anyway, I'm hoping for the best, alright? Another book I definitely want to check out is The Big Head by Edward Lee. Y'all know how much I love Header by Edward Lee. I really don't know much about this book beyond the fact that it is about this inbred serial killer in the Virginia backwoods, and that, and I quote, "Never before has a work of fiction dared to delve so deeply into the realms of perversion, sexual dementia, and bad taste." This fits the prompt so well, okay? So we are gonna do this. So next I wanna read a couple of these extreme horror books. I'm gonna just go down the line. I don't know what they're about, but there's this author I heard of called Sam West, and this author wrote Flesh Factory and Dead.com. Another couple books that sound really interesting to me that could fit Depraved December are So Sorry by Aaron Beauregard and Daniel Volk. I have read Aaron Beauregard. I discovered him recently this year, and both his books got very high ratings from me, so this collaboration could be really interesting. Another one is Video Nasties by Duncan Ralston, because I read Womb by Duncan Ralston, and oh boy, that book was insane. And the fact that there is an extreme horror book about the Video Nasties phenomenon sounds interesting to me, okay? So we'll see how that goes. Another one that I'm curious about is Porn by Matt Shaw.
The Porn.
An extreme horror book with this title? Yes. Potential, okay? Magic could happen. Another Matt Shaw book that sounds interesting to me is Psychopaths for Hire, okay? A title like that in the extreme horror genre, that is a huge promise. we will see how that goes, okay? Now, the books I just mentioned, I don't know what they're about because they're quite short, and when it comes to short books, I would rather go in as fresh as humanly possible. I would rather not know what the story is about, okay? So we're just gonna reserve that for when I actually get to them, if I actually get to them, fingers crossed, moving on. Okay, so next we're gonna be talking about the smut I wanna read this month. Now, the first one is a potential buddy read with my good friend Meg over at Reading with Meg. She's one of those few people that truly like understands my humor. She's dark and fucked up and depressed, and I'm like, bitch, I love you, bitch. And she was like, I want to read more porn. And I was like, okay, let's read porn together. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know, friends who read porn together, that's just like the best friendship you could ever have. That's the kind of friendship I have with Amanda and Sarah, and it's just a vibe, okay? I love it. So the porn that Meg and I might be reading is Push by Nyla K. So Push by Nyla K, for those of you who have been on this channel, you will know that I did a full video on this book called Double Edged by Nyla K, okay? A full fucking video just telling you every single thing that happened in that story, because that's how insane that was to me as a person. It's a male romance between a stepfather and his two underage sons, okay? So Nyla K is definitely an author who will go there. Yeah. Twincest, literally just like full on the first chapter. I was like, okay, this person's wasting literally no time. So I was like, even though that book scarred my soul, I am curious about what else this author has up their fucking sleeves, okay? So Push. This story, I don't know what the specifics are, but apparently we follow this married couple who is hosting their daughter and her boyfriend for Thanksgiving, and the dad and the boyfriend in that hole, okay? This is gonna be a thing, okay? I might do a whole ass video on this book, so just beware, keep your eyes peeled for things that could potentially be happening. I don't know, just wait and see, okay? Alright, another book I want to read is Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. You will know, if you've been here in 2021, that I did a full video on Credence by Penelope Douglas. So Penelope Douglas has written this book called Birthday Girl. I posted on my Instagram stories saying, hey, recommend me some smut. Now my friend Haley, who pretty much kind of knows what my taste is-ish, and she was like, McKay, Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. I didn't know what that book was about until I looked it up. I did. Now, that book is about this girl who has a boyfriend and she fucks his dad. This is not the kind of relationship that I would condone, but these taboo books, even though, you know, it's fun to roast them, like, I'm glad they exist because content. All I'm gonna say is that I have a thing for the dad in Euphoria, Cal. We're moving on.
Now let's talk about dick.
I can never look myself in the eye ever again. Okay, next I want to read the book Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman because, I don't know, I just heard that this book was like fucked up, but also like good. We follow this couple, I think they get kidnapped and they're forced to do some shit at the threat of death, and this makes them fall in love. I don't know where this story is gonna go, but we'll see, okay? And then finally, last but not least, is another book that I heard about that has a really crazy reputation, and that is Gothicana by Runix. And this is a book that got very popular on TikTok. It's a dark academia book which follows a student-teacher relationship, okay? So, sounds pretty fucked up to me. We're gonna see how that goes. I don't know how far this book is gonna go, but we shall see, okay? But yeah, with that being said, those are the books I wanna read for my very last minute readathon that only I will be participating in, called Depraved December. All you gotta do is put up a reading blog that says Depraved December in the title. Why not? If this becomes a thing, I'm gonna laugh my ass off. But with that being said, if you made it this far, comment a green heart down below. Just put like a green heart in the comment section so I can see who actually sat their ass down and watched a fucking video of my dumb ass talking about what books I might read this month. I still can't comprehend the fact that people actually watch my shit. It's just so crazy to me, like, why? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in future videos, and as always, take care.